What's up, you guys? I'm Amber,
And I'm Patty.
and welcome back to another episode of Chromosomes and Chaos.
Two moms, two perspectives, and one badass podcast.
On today's episode, it's one that we've been wanting to do for a while
Yeah.
with the holidays, New Year's resolutions coming up, a lot of gatherings and
Holiday
parties.
and
Yes.
happy hours.
Yes. Where people like myself think that I have to have some alcoholic influence to make me have fun.
So today we're just talking about being sober curious, taking a break. So if you're kind of curious about it or live alcohol free, I don't know.
Yeah.
This episode's for you.
And it's a good one too. You've obviously chosen that path to do that, which is amazing. How many years sober are you now?
I will be going on 13 years
So good.
Thank
So
you,
good. Yes.
of being sober.
And I think about it.
Yeah.
I think about doing it. Some mornings if I have, a couple of glasses of wine too much or drinks, I'm like, gosh, I should probably just give it up altogether because it does no good for my body, right? But I'm also to a spot where I can just have a couple drinks and be okay with it too. So there's that fine balance of like, do I have a problem that I need to give up? But yeah, so I'm excited to hear your journey and just ask you some questions on it and talk about it. So
yeah, I have officially been like alcohol free longer than I was legally able to drink.
Yeah.
And it feels like such a long time ago. I always say like back in my 20s, being gay was not as socially acceptable.
Right.
And so all we did was go to the bars, right? And we had like every single day of the week was, on Monday night we played softball and we'd go to the bar after women's league.
Yep.
And on Tuesday night it was Tear It Up Tuesday at the Saddle. And then on Wednesday night, there was something. Thursday night I worked at the bar. Friday night or Thursday night was ladies' night. We worked at the bar.
Yep.
Friday night I worked at the bar. Saturday night I worked at the bar. Sunday was the L Word watch parties. There was literally
everything.
something.
And being a college athlete,
Yeah.
Even being able to do whatever I wanted, I guess. And that makes sense of like back then it wasn't as accepted, right? Or you felt like you just went to the app. And
absolutely.
we had drown night on Wednesday night. So you literally go spend drown night, it's called.
Drown.
Yeah, because
Makes
you
a whole lot of
literally
sense. You're gonna drown yourself in
it
alcohol.
all comes back. Yeah. And so it's like they had to fill in a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
And it was packed, but you would pay like $10 to get in or $10. You could literally drink all you wanted all night. And this is a college town.
Yeah.
Like it was, and then, like you said, Thursday was something and then Friday, just everything.
If we didn't have something planned, we would go to the strip club to play pool.
Yeah, perfect.
To play pool. Literally.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Exactly.
What strip club around here?
Don't worry about it.
No, we were just talking about that the other night, like how we've never been to a Des Moines strip club, which is probably good, but
there you go.
There we go.
And so I worked at a bar and, I was just in the nightlife and in like the high risk environments. And there was a lot of other things going on in my life at the time. And finally, I had already kind of been questioning and struggling. Like, I knew that I didn't want to drink as much. The things that I wanted out of life were not going to be achievable if I continued down that path. And I always say, I got an OWI and it was not my first OWI. And it was on St. Patrick's Day of 2013.
Yeah.
And it was literally the worst, best thing that could ever happened to me. Because I woke up the next day and for me, it was a light switch. I was just done, right? There was no... I personally never did AA, nothing against it. I think however you find your supports,
100%,
perfect, right?
Yep.
It wasn't the thing for me. I never had a problem being around alcohol. It was very much like I could never be that, like, just have 2 or 3. I was like, yep, we're going all night,
hard,
right? And I wasn't a big, like, beer drinker or drink drinker. I just did shots, right? And when you're a bartender, like, that's what you do. You do shots,
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
And so, like, that was the issue. It was the boundaries that I had, like, because I didn't drink every day and, I didn't wake up and have shakes or some of the symptoms that some people did.
Yep.
And so in 2013, I woke up and I'm like, nope, done. We're done here.
Yep.
And literally like that, have not had a drink since. And it has been the best decision I ever made in my life.
I think one night I think one of the galas, I don't know if this was right when we first met. I'm like, you're dancing on the table or something. And I'm like, wait, you're sober? This is sober Patty.
Yeah,
This
this
is
is
amazing because I think I'd be pouting in a corner if I was at the gala. You know me and the
Um,
gala. You know me and the
yes, it's
gala.
a good
We turn
time.
up.
I never needed alcohol to have a good time. I
Yeah.
love to dance. I love to have fun. That actual scenario happens more often than you think, where people think I am, because like I am on the
Oh,
dance
I
floor
love it.
all the time.
Here for it.
For a long time and in high school, like some friends called me Diddy, and my one friend would be like, "Diddy dancing like she drunk though," because I just have a good time.
That's
And
awesome.
so, but that's also not the same journey for
Yeah.
everybody. And so,
And I
uh,
think, yeah, people can, some people it takes later,
yeah,
right? They get OWIs and
yeah,
they need the extra help and the
yeah,
extra things to help them get over that. But, it's funny that when you were saying that, the same thing in the fitness industry, when people come in and they're like, I need to make a change, it has to be on that person's terms.
yeah,
Otherwise, if
absolutely,
someone else is
100%.
making you do it and you don't intentionally want to do it, you're
Mhm.
never going to be successful in it.
Nope,
So
you
it's like
have to.
you have that one wake up call
Yeah,
that's just like, all right, I need to get my figured out.
yeah.
And I'm glad that
The
you were
things that I
able to.
have achieved in my life now would never have been achievable. And I wanted
Mhm.
those things. This version of my life is something that I had thought about or wanted, but it was never going to happen had I not made the decision to quit drinking,
Mhm.
because I would have stayed in that life all the time. And just when you're in that environment day in and day out, and the bright lights and the fun and
Mhm.
and there's times that I miss it, and I still bartend every once in a while
Mhm.
because I'm a social butterfly.
Right.
But I always say my life would have been a lot different if the bar just would have had like employees aren't able to drink.
Yeah, because
But
it's,
it
and
is
some bars do that, which is smart
smart.
because it's not only good for that employee, but it's
Right.
probably as well good for the bar. But,
Let
it's
me
because
tell you.
yeah, worked at a bar in
Yeah.
college too. And when you're around it,
Oh
it's
yeah,
just right there.
it's a
It's just
blast.
easy to drink.
It's like, hey, can I buy you a shot?
And
Hey,
it's,
how many people, like customers, like, hey, let me buy you a shot.
yeah,
Hey, let me buy you a shot.
yeah.
For a while there, I used to take the Sky Citrus bottle, and I'd find an empty one, and I just fill it with water, and I would just be doing shots
Yeah,
of water
that's
all
smart
night.
because it's,
Because when I first quit, there's also just this pressure around getting drunk, getting on my level,
hmm hmm
or, you know, drinking.
yeah, why aren't you
And
drinking? Because people will be like, "You don't drink?"
yeah.
And they turn it around like it's a bad thing that you're not
And
drinking.
I would argue that most of the time, like me saying that I don't drink, or when people say that they don't drink, it is usually them having a reflection on, oh, wait, it's a me thing, right? Like
Mhm.
it's a them
Mhm.
thing. Like, do I need to quit drinking? Like, it
Yeah,
challenges
I could
this
see that.
assumption
Mhm.
of
Mhm.
drinking,
Yeah.
right? And I'm by here no means here to judge anyone,
Yeah.
like, but there are a lot of people who are either sober curious, it just doesn't fit their lifestyle anymore. The older they get, the harder it is. It
Mhm.
takes 10 days to recover. You don't
Yes.
feel the
Brutal.
same. And I will say that one of I am proud of is, like, I think my biggest flex is that my kids have never seen me intoxicated. My
Mhm.
kids have never seen me under the influence.
Yep.
And I love that for myself,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
I've never had to say I don't remember to them,
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
not remember.
Mhm.
Back then, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, right.
There was a lot of questionable decision.
And can you imagine
Thankful.
doing that with kids?
Oh,
Like,
hell
and,
no.
sometimes these people get stuck into
Yeah.
this vicious cycle
And
of
I'm
that.
incredibly grateful that social media was not a thing at the time,
Right.
because there's not a lot of proof.
And I'd say, having kids to me slowed my drinking down a lot, right?
Absolutely.
Because
Yeah.
you can't go out and, I mean, you can, but I chose not to because that's
Yeah.
not my priority,
No.
right? My priority is my kids. So, and not saying that in a negative way, because
Mhm.
I think people put their kids, but they just have it, alcoholism is real and it's a thing and it's okay if you have it. It's just if you're to a point where you need to get help, just get help because I'm sure it's not great to wake up and feel a certain way,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm not ever judging anybody. And this is a conversation of just bringing light to a topic and
Yeah.
helping people navigate through these things. So I didn't mean to belittle anybody saying your kids are not a priority. But in my situation, it was just like, I can't wake up hungover and take care of my kids.
Mhm.
I don't like when I'm and I'll have some drinks in front of my
Yeah.
kids. They'll see me open a beer and they'll be like, "Oh, can I have a drink?" I'm like, "Nope, it's mommy's drink." And so
Yeah.
I think we have a really good, healthy and people can say that that's not healthy to see your kids drink, like you said,
Yeah.
people can say that or whatever. But I just feel like for our family dynamic, I don't have a problem with it, but I never want my kids to feel like I have to hide something from them, like take my beer upstairs and
Right.
drink it or whatever. So I just feel like if they see me drinking, I'm okay with it and
Yeah, absolutely.
in my life.
And, most of the time when I tell people that I don't drink, people ask if Lisa does. And at
mhm,
least she does.
yeah.
That was never, this was always a me thing and a
Mhm,
choice that I make for myself. And I would never make that decision for somebody else. I think her drinking ebbs and flows, just like most people.
yeah.
It slowed down after we had kids as well, too.
Mhm,
And, we always say sometimes when we go out, because she doesn't get to go out, we don't go out that
yeah,
often.
right.
Like, hey, babe, it's a marathon, not a sprint. She'd be like, yay, friends, humans, adult conversations, yay. Like,
Yeah, it's
marathon. She's like, no, I don't like marathons. I just want to sprint. No. But,
oh, I need to hang out with Lisa.
but
No,
I
I'm just
think
joking.
once you, for some, it's like when does alcohol stop serving you,
Right.
right?
Yeah,
If
absolutely.
you're nutrition focused.
Mhm.
I think a New Year's resolution for so many people is to get healthy, quit drinking,
Mhm.
or dry January. That's
Yep.
a big one.
Yep.
And we're smack dab in one of the most stressful,
Mhm.
most overwhelming,
Mhm.
magical, full of happy hours and holiday parties and events and
It just
Friendsgiving and
surrounds
get
us.
together. It surrounds you
Mhm. Mhm.
constantly. It wasn't until I was like out of the nightlife that I realized that, oh, not everybody has a daily themed drinking schedule.
Seriously, it's like, yes.
Oh, hey. Right. And I am incredibly thankful that now there's been a huge popularity around, non-alcoholic
Mhm.
drinks or
Mhm.
alcohol-free wine and spirits. And, for those that want to have mocktails or
Yeah.
get fancy drinks that are alcohol-free. And those are definitely options. I was in Tennessee, I think.
Okay. Oh, yeah, Nashville.
Yeah, I was in
Yeah.
Nashville and they had alcohol-free tequila, and I used to drink a lot of
Interesting.
tequila. I think it would be really good in a margarita. It's probably not supposed to be for shots because I took a
Or
shot of the alcohol-free tequila.
well, let's be honest. Alcohol, tequila with alcohol in it is
Yeah.
not very good either.
I mean, let me tell you, there was a lot of that. We used to have this machine that kept our tequila, Goldschlager, and Rumpelmint's tequila
Yeah.
and Goldschlager
Yeah.
like in a negative cold temperature. So it
Oh
was just
my
freezing
god.
cold.
Yeah.
And so my friend would come all the time and she'll probably listen to this episode. She's like, hey, I need to taste the temperature. I'm like, oh my gosh, you want Rumpelmint's? Yep, okay.
Gross. It just burns all the way down to your stomach. The worst.
And I think that there's a lot of things if you're not ready. I mean, and it's hard for some people,
Yeah,
right? To be like,
absolutely.
hey, I'm sober curious. How do I take the next step? And,
Mhm.
I would put water in the Sky Citrus. I would get, the um, non-alcoholic beer and I'd put a
And
koozie
yeah, and
around it.
that's the thing is
People
I
get drinks of soda water with a lime and
yep,
lemon. So it looks
yep.
like you're
When you're
making,
social, like, because
yeah.
sometimes I just have to have a drink in my hand and, like, when I'm in social settings. So, yeah, something like that, and that's what I
Yeah.
recommend to my nutrition clients all the time. If you feel like you have 4 holiday parties coming up in the next week, just pick one night where you can have some drinks, but then the other nights because Patty and I were talking about this episode before we got on, and the alcohol just if you're on a fat loss journey or weight loss journey, like, alcohol calories add up so fast,
Mm-hmm.
and so a lot of my nutrition clients have to watch their alcohol intake because they're over consuming
Yeah.
calories, along with the other side effects of alcohol, but it's one of those that they cut back on it, and then that weight loss and stuff happens. And I could dive into a huge episode of this, and you can watch our nutrition talks on our gym podcast episodes. But you know how a can of Truly says like
I love
like
this.
like
This is truth
zero,
bomb.
yeah, like what does it say? 5 grams of carbs on it. There's actually like 25 grams of carbs in that can. So if you can only consume 150 carbs a
So why
day,
why is it 25 but it only says 5?
because they don't count the alcohol calories. So you can see on there it says like 100 calories, but then it only says 5 grams of carbs,
Mhm.
which means that it should only have like 20 calories in it,
Yeah.
but they don't have to put it on the label, the alcohol calories.
Mm.
So it's called the Working Against Gravity calculator, alcohol calculator. That's what I make all my nutrition clients use. You go in and you log how many calories are in that, and I'll tell you exactly how many calories are in like a can of that stuff or
Like
beer. Like the darker
beer
beers are going to be
or White
yeah,
Claws and
yeah.
Trulies
One of my
and
nutrition clients was going to go to Exile,
so
I
what about,
think.
like, the carbless drinks?
Same, 25 grams. A shot of vodka, 25 grams of carbs. All those lower ones are like all 25 grams. Now, when you get to the darker beers like Blue Moons, or there's this one at Exile, it's like a super dark one. I think there was 80 grams of carbs in just one beer.
No.
One beer. It was insane. So that's a whole nother tangent
I
on
know.
the calorie side of it, which, you know, and I think going back to like if you're sober curious and stuff, I think setting goals. You know, some people it works really well for, like if you drink 4 days a week, maybe 1 week you're like, okay, I'm just gonna drink 3. And then the next week you're like, okay, just 2. And then with me, I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna drink all week because I wake up and work out early.
Yep.
Makes me tired, makes my workouts, and that's just important to me right now. It's like that's what I want to do. So I'm like, no drinks until like Friday night or Saturday. And then I set those little goals for myself versus big long goals. But I think, you know, wherever you're at, just set some goals for yourself and see.
Yeah.
But some people that do set the 1 month sober goals, they love how it makes them feel.
And then they just
and then they just
drinking.
keep and then they just keep going and going, and they're like, oh, I'm on like 450 some days, like I feel great. So I think it's probably within that first initial few weeks that it's probably the hardest, right?
You probably see the benefits right away.
Yeah,
almost,
right.
Like,
Yeah.
you know,
And do it in a time where you're probably less like involved in situations where it's going to make you want to drink, right? So I think the holidays is always a hard time for
I just love seeing how much popularity being alcohol free or sober or sober curious is gaining, because most of the time when your sobriety sometimes questions other people's sobriety.
And you know, sometimes I'm guilty of being like, well, why aren't you drinking? And it's not any of my business. And like you said, it's kind of like a challenge. And I think in that situation, I put myself in there. I'm like, gosh, I should do that. Right. And it's nothing against them. Like I'm like, props to you. Like, that's amazing. And you shouldn't need a reason why you're not, you know.
People sometimes ask me if I'll ever drink again. And because I mean, right now, the answer is no. Like, I have no intention to.
Yeah.
A long time ago, I was probably like, well, I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. And I remember, like, if there was an opportunity, like, what would be the thing that I'm like, oh, let's have a drink, right?
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, well, how about my wedding? I'll have a glass of champagne or something. And literally every time I would even think about, like, oh, maybe that could be it, I would have these really crazy dreams about, like, vehicular manslaughter. I was in jail, but I was making phone calls. I was just weird. I'm like, nope,
not
got
doing
it. We're good. Good. I'm good here. We're good, guys. And it's funny because even though I order when we're out, like I'll get a non-alcoholic beer or something, a friend of mine was like, Patty, do you know that every single time you order something, like even though you ordered a non-alcoholic, I look and make sure that it says non-alcoholic, 0 alcohol on every single thing that I grab.
Right.
Because there are too many times where I've heard stories or read stories that like bartenders just go ahead and
oh my god,
whether they, you know, because some of them look so identical.
Absolutely.
To
they
each
look
other,
at
right? And so it's like you either get, I didn't realize I did that, but I do every single time.
That's smart.
I'll grab the can and still make sure it says like, oh. Yeah.
I do love how many non-alcoholic things are out there now, though. It is awesome because like that
13
whole
years
beer
ago
like,
was Bush.
Bush, like,
Bush NA.
Yeah.
And
when I was pregnant, I did it like because I love the taste of beer.
Okay,
I do. And wine, like I do love it. So that's another thing. Is like
Zero is really good.
Like I heard that. So like when I'm outside and like even in the summer, I'll go through like more non-alcoholic stuff because like the kids will be out swimming in the pool or whatever, and I'm like, you know what sounds good? Like a cold beer, crisp. So then you just get the non-alcoholic ones, and they taste good. So I'm always thankful for that because I'm like, okay, does ice water sound good right now? No. But I also it's 10 a.m. I don't want to be drunk. Right
we had a wedding a couple weeks ago, and one of my friends was like, yeah, I think I'm going to do the 1 beer, 1 NA, 1 beer, 1 NA, just because they wanted to last longer. They want to actually enjoy their time and see their
friends. Well,
and
the next day, too, you wouldn't be as freaking hungover.
Be able to, You know, the interesting thing is I think sometimes when Lisa wakes up after a night of drinking, she tries to overcompensate because she knows she's hungover and she knows I'm gonna call her out on it. So she like gets up and she's like, I'm gonna start cleaning and make breakfast. And like she's dying. I know she is, but she doesn't want me to be.
Yeah. And it's funny you say that because usually like Tyler and I won't go hard like a lot, but if we do, it's together because we're at the same outing or whatever. And we'll both wake up or we're both on the same level, which makes us both feel...
You better rock, paper, scissors. Who's doing what?
Right. We still feel bad about our decisions the night before.
Yeah.
But it makes it easier to be like, "You feel like shit?" "Yeah, I feel like shit too." So then you're not like so poor Lisa, because she's probably like, "Damn it, my wife is sober. She's not hungover.
She
She's gonna
hates
give me a
it
hard time if
because, like,
I'm not ready to
my
go."
friends, like, we went to Nashville and I did, like, I'm the fun person that's just like, okay, I did, like, announcements at the airport, like, I will make sure you get home, but I am not here to stop you from making questionable decisions, but everything will be recorded and I will make fun of you the next day because I remember everything,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
And I've no, she's like,
Mhm.
I'll just ask Patty because I'm sure she's going to remember. I'm like, yep,
I
I
do.
will.
I do.
I do
And this
remember.
is what you did.
And this is, yeah. Do
And
you
they're
know
like,
what you did last night? You know what you did last summer?
"Don't wanna talk about it."
I know.
What happened last summer stays in last summer.
One of my friends, it was like Halloween and their husband, had a little bit too much fun and we had an event the next day and literally, or we were on the next day, she's like, yep, he's still in bed. I asked the kids what they had for breakfast and it was Halloween candy and it was like
Oh,
4 o'clock in the afternoon.
no.
I was like,
Ouch.
that I would absolutely
Yeah,
probably murder
that's
my
yeah.
wife. Not really. I would never do that, but
But it would go through my mind,
oh,
right?
no.
Yeah, so I think after the gala we're gonna do a podcast episode, I think, the next morning, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
be like, "What did I do?
Yeah. I'll
What
tell
did I
you.
do?" And every year I'm gonna text you just the first thing the next day after the gala, what did I do?"
That's fun. It's a good time.
Hopefully you say, "Oh, you didn't do anything wrong."
You did nothing. It's fine. I just want to always let people know that they're like, there are people out there that don't drink, right?
Mhm.
Obviously. But like, get a sober buddy and find
Absolutely.
new hobbies or different things. And I think most of the time when it comes to alcohol, we use alcohol as a tool or a crutch. And, for many who navigate brain health, it can be a trigger. And most of the time, I would probably argue for some that, it's usually to suppress other things that are going on or
100%.
alcohol helps them have a good time or helps them be social or, I think everybody needs therapy. So,
Mhm.
I'm a
Mhm.
big therapy person, go
Mhm.
to therapy. Everybody needs a checkup from the neck up. But
Mhm.
if you're curious, give it a try. And you never know, you might surprise yourself or, AA is available for those who think that they do need that additional support and struggle. But there are resources out there to help you and don't ever let somebody make you feel pressured into
Mhm.
drinking, I guess,
Mhm.
right? To get
Yeah.
on their level or do something and
Or never feel less than if
right.
someone gives you a hard time for
Yeah.
stopping drinking either,
Oh gosh,
you
yeah.
know?
Again, best
Mhm.
decision I ever
Yeah,
made. I love
that's
it.
awesome. So
Right.
great. So great.
If you have any questions, reach out. You can DM me too.
Mhm.
People do that every once in a while when they're navigating their own and um sobriety journey or
Yeah, and I'm sure there's other podcasts out there
oh
about
yeah.
this. Like,
Oh,
that's what I love
100%.
about podcasts nowadays is you can go search on
Oh,
there anything, like and there's probably experts that talk about
yeah.
some of the ways to because 'cause we're
Yeah.
not experts by any means. Obviously,
No.
Patty's been through
Lived
it, so she knows a
experience, but
ton, but yeah.
yeah.
But the psychology side of it, because 'cause I'm sure there is a huge psychology side of all of this, and I'm sure there's some
So many people use alcohol as like a reward system, like, or just because, like, I
Mhm.
had a bad day, I need a drink. I had a great day, I need a drink. Let's celebrate, have a
Yep,
drink. I mowed
yep.
the lawn, I need a drink.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the way your brain associates alcohol with things,
Mhm.
right? It's a tough time, I'm gonna have a drink. It's a great day. So
Yeah.
it's like you can fit that to mold whatever conversation you're having.
Yep.
But once you remove yourself from that and like, it's okay.
Mhm. I'm trying to think about how I use it,
Yeah.
And I mean, that's
You
yeah, if
think
something
celebratory, "Yay, let's have"
yes, let's have some
right?
champagne
Yeah,
or whatever.
absolutely.
But then also when I come home on a hard day and I'm just like, "Damn, today was hard."
Yeah.
I'm like, "I just need a drink." And I think it just helps, like, not really, like, just take the
Mhm,
not take the pain away, but, like, I could just have 2, and I just feel, like, a huge sense of just relief.
mhm.
Like, I just had so much stress build up, and I know
Right.
it's not obviously the way to handle
You
that. Like, it's
there's
doing
definitely
me
times that things have happened in my life, and I'm like, "Ooh, it is a good thing I don't drink because I
'cause I would
won't."
would've
Because
drank the whole
today's been
case.
one of those days.
So I
Yeah.
can see, and it's like, yeah, I just need to figure out a different way to cope with
And,
that
like, when we
stuff,
go
and
tailgating, I'll make a batch of, like, alcohol Bloody Marys, and I'll make
mhm.
my own batch of, like, because I make my own Bloody Mary mix.
Ooh,
It's
yeah, yeah,
amazing, and so then I just make my own mix of just the
yeah,
mix because I
yeah.
still love Bloody Marys
Mhm,
just without
mhm,
alcohol.
yeah, and
Yeah,
it's
there's
even,
different
like,
things.
football games,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just it's the idea of the football game and the tailgating and
Yeah,
all that stuff,
yeah.
like, I don't know. It's just like when there's a Husker football game on, I just gotta
Yeah.
crack open a beer and celebrate. I
Lisa
don't
makes
know.
fun of
Like
me. Like
it's
we go to friends' house and I'll be like, "Yeah, I'll be your bartender and I'll be mixing drinks or doing something."
yeah.
And like I said, I still bartend every once in a while just
Mm-hmm.
because it's fun in the
When's your
social
next one, by the
aspect.
way? Is it usually the
Um,
first of
it
every
usually
month?
is, but it won't be till January, I guess. What what was I gonna say? There was something else, but
Oh,
I can't
sorry,
remember. No, no.
tailgating. You'll make
Yeah,
drinks
no,
and
I mean, it's just
yeah,
fun.
yeah.
Like, like even at the golf events,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't golf, but I will gladly drive around and give alcoholic drinks and beverages to all my friends and
Yep.
say, "Here you
Yep.
go.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Good times."
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. Good. Thanks for sharing your story and
Oh, sure.
everything. You have a lot. Like you have a lot of
Lived
lived
experience.
experiences. You do. One of my friends that listens to the episode, she's like, Patty's been through so much. I think it was
Yeah.
the pregnancy loss one. I'm like, I know she really, really
Yeah.
has. So
Yeah, but all of those things have shaped me into who I am.
absolutely.
I think I'm a
Absolutely.
pretty cool person
Yeah. And
sometimes.
that's why she likes listening because it's all spun out of positivity,
Yeah.
right? And all the
Yeah.
things. But it's like, whew, and it doesn't make what she's going through any less or
No.
what anybody ever
Yeah.
else is going through any less
Absolutely
because
not.
we all handle the situations when they come. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely some of I don't think anything happens for a reason, but you can, you know, make reason out of the things that like you
Hmm.
can take that and turn it into something else.
Yeah.
And so
Definitely.
always here to support people and help them to be a conduit
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
things. So connection.
Yep. Yep.
Put it together. All right.
Chaos Corner.
Oh
What you
my gosh,
got?
what do I got? Um a little while ago. I was walking Cooper up the stairs to go to bed, and he goes, "Mom." I'm like, "What?" "We need 3 moms." I'm like, "Oh, really? 2 is not enough for you. Tell me more." "Well, we need 3 moms because that way there is a mom for every kid to go to bed to read stories to." Because like how
Oh.
our bedtime routine works, like at the time I was like flip-flopping between who am I reading to, right? And we have a different system now,
Mm-hmm.
but like and it's just funny like the things that come out of kids' mouth. I'm like, "Oh, 2 moms is enough for you. You want 3?" Like, let
I
me
love it.
see.
That is so
And
funny.
reminds me of a story because our good friend Max next door, when him and Addie first met, and this would have been like in preschool daycare
Mm-hmm.
years ago, when they first met, Max goes, "Oh my gosh, do you know that Addie has 2 moms?"
Moms.
And I guess he went home that night and told his dad, and he was like, "Dad, Addie has 2 moms. I want 2 moms." And he was like, "Yeah, kid, so do I. I want you to have
I
2
want to.
moms too." No, I'm joking.
Amen. I'm like 3 moms.
I'm like,
Huh.
huh.
Well, that would be kind of
Like,
nice.
tell me more. What
Lots
is
of
this?
help
No.
around here. We know that we just do things different than the men. It's okay. It's okay. I know.
They're
You
funny.
know,
And
I cannot believe yeah.
even today, he was talking about when he grows up, and I'm like, I don't know what he said. And he was like, "Yep, there's going to be 3 moms. There's going to be 3 this." And I'm like, "Really? We're still on this 3 mom thing. Cool. Let's go."
Gosh, about 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, Ivy, we were driving to school. Somehow we were talking about, or maybe the podcast was on and they were like, oh, yeah, that's Patty. And they asked, Ivy goes, why does she have 2 moms? Why does Addie have 2 moms? Just out of curiosity. And I'm like, oh, honey, families and kids have 3, or some families have 2 moms. They just fell in love with each other and they like each other.
Yes.
But it wasn't anything else than that. It's like, and then they had babies. They're like, just like you and dad. I'm like, yep, just like me
Yeah.
and dad. So,
Yeah.
but they asked the question and I forgot to message you. I was like, I need to message Patty, but it wasn't really that big of a deal. Like nothing
Oh my
funny came out
gosh,
of it. So
it's
I
so
was
funny.
waiting for them to like ask more.
Nope.
And I'm like, gosh, because I think it's up like when someone asked about Down syndrome or whatever, I'm like, what else is going to come out of this, right? Like, is there anything else that they're going to say or whatever? But just answered it and
Yeah,
made it
some people
seem,
have 2 moms, some people have
yeah,
a mom and a dad, some
it
people have
was
2
yeah.
dads, a grandma, an aunt, like
Mm-hmm.
people have
Mm-hmm.
lots of
Yep.
different
And they were like,
things. And
oh, that's
cool.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they go on with their day. It's
Oh, it was
that
cute though. It
simple.
was so
How
cute.
cute.
I think Chaos Corner this week for me is just like Thanksgiving and
Oh my
like
gosh, yeah.
family and hosting and like having 11 kids under the age of 9 inside because it got cold as all get
Yeah.
out. Like, so my in-laws came from Indiana and then we went out to the farm for Thanksgiving. And so there's 11 kids under the age of 9. So it's just
They're
like,
all
I mean, going back to drinking. I mean, I think I looked at my sister-in-law. I'm like, champagne, mimosa, let's
let's
go.
go.
Again, I don't know if that was the appropriate way to handle
That's
it, but in
okay.
that moment, we needed
'Cause
it.
they have 5, don't they?
They have 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Bless her heart.
Yeah,
Bless their hearts.
they're amazing.
And then yeah, my other sister-in-law has 3, and then we have 3. But it was just like chaotic. And then I had to go to Sioux Falls for our other gym location Monday morning, but then there was that snowstorm, and then Tyler had to do morning routine the last 3 days.
How was that?
Great. When mom's gone, he's like, it's fine. Like, they're all being good. He lays the law down though. So I'm not like, I'm pretty chill. Like, let's just get ready for school, guys. You can get on your iPads for a little bit. You can watch the TV. You can play some with your toys, whatever they want to do that morning. And then we usually like at 8:00 start getting ready because we don't have to be to school till like 8:40. So then I'm like, okay, go get your shit. Let's go. I'm like, why do I do this? I let him mess around all morning, and then then I yell at from the top of my lungs. They're probably like, you psycho. So then Tyler, he's like, nope, it's great. Because he lays the law. And I already know. Like, when I get home, Ivy's like, Dad's so mean. I'm like, he's just parenting. He's not mean. He's being.
So we had to go to a psychologist for Addie for her CPAP adherence, right? And we were talking about some other things, and he had us do one thing that has really been incredibly helpful, not about CPAP, but just things.
Yeah.
Do the hardest thing first. And
right.
so, the kids, for us, we just flipped everything around. Like, they don't come downstairs for breakfast until they have gotten dressed, brushed their teeth. And Addie'd be like, iPad. I'm like, you can have iPad when you're dressed. Teeth or brush, and you come downstairs to eat.
So I told Tyler, and I'm like, duh, that's a great idea. Yeah. Let's make him just get ready before they do that. So that works well for them. And, you know how kids are just devils for their moms. Like, what is it? And then everyone has to rub it in my face that I'm the problem.
You're not the problem.
Like, oh, Mom, they're great. You're gone.
Safe and secure.
I'm like, well, you want me to stay for 5 more days in this hotel by myself?
Right. Darn it.
Darn. It sounds like I better just stay here.
Yeah.
Everyone's getting along so well. No. And then, yes, I messaged you the other day going to Pierce's CPAP or appointment for a sleep study. So now Pierce has to get a CPAP machine. He's going to do a sleep study. So long story short,
odds be in your
favor. Thank you, because I'm going to need it. So I told them, so insurance approved it already, which is great. I was hoping it wasn't a big approval for that. So you have up until 6 months to get the sleep study done. So we're running into an issue with his appointment with his knee because he's going to have surgery January 5th. So I don't want him doing a sleep study with this big ass cast and brace on. So we're pushing it until like the end of February is when his sleep study is. And then I told the doctor that I'm like, we will commit to doing this, because she did. She's like, it's hard. It's very hard. And she's like, as parents, you either got to commit and you got to do it. And I'm like, and I was looking at it,
like both of you have
and
to
I'm thinking like, yeah.
And
And I'm like, we can do this. We can do this. And so then they say, and I think you told me this, in order for insurance to cover it, you have to prove that you're using it, which makes sense.
The machine connects, like the insurance can see the machine. And you have to do 70% of nights, at least 4 hours a night. And I will tell you right now, we have hit that 5 times in a year.
Yeah. Well, she said, I really like this lady. She was awesome. She's like, okay, so for insurance purposes, they need to see that. So, but this is going to help him whenever. So if he's watching a movie and he's, kind of, and you just want to put it on him, just put it on him. Like, at night is when it's most important though. And she's telling me these, but she's trying to also help me because she knows how hard this can be. And she's like, but you don't want to have to do it. It's either you got to do it or you don't. And she's like, yes, you might be really successful. You might not be, and it might take a lot of hard work. So I'm like, okay, the best probability of success right now is after his surgery, probably March, spring break, and spring when we can do it. So here we go. But you guys, I'm telling you, I didn't think about how important sleep is. And because I knew he had moderate sleep apnea. And I'm like, it's fine. And then when I talked to her just about him not being potty trained, just his learning disability that we're having at school, and he's doing great. He doesn't have a ton of behavior issues, but she's like, he doesn't have behavior. And I'm like, no, he's like the chillest kid ever. So he just doesn't have a lot of behavior stuff. But she's like, I think this could really help him. And then I just dove into the deep end on sleep apnea and how much it affects the brain and
rabbit
growth.
Hole.
Yeah. And I'm excited for him, right? Now I'm kind of like, okay, this is going to be a challenge, but I'm excited to see how this can help us, because at the morning he wakes up, his mouth's all dry. Like, I'm just like, can you imagine losing your breath, not breathing, like when you're sleeping in X amount of times? Like, that's not good for your brain.
No.
It's not good for how you function daily. Like,
not that Addie has bad behaviors, but she has better behaviors like, her behavior chart on the nights that she wears it longer, she has better days. It's like
Yes.
it
Yes.
correlates 100%. She wakes up, she's not I mean, because she would say all the time, "Mommy, I'm so tired. I'm so tired.
Mhm.
Ah, so tired."
Mhm.
And so she just has better days,
Yeah.
and I mean, obviously, it makes sense, and
I
it helps
know.
with your growth and your
Yes.
development and just everything
All
and
of it.
all
Yeah.
that stuff, but
No, I know. So I'm excited. I'm excited, but
yeah.
we'll see. We'll see how that goes. So, um, what was I gonna say? Oh, so that's yeah, that was kind of just the chaos corner of oh, you're good. You're good. Chaos corner with that. But I think what I was gonna say, guys, is I don't know if a lot of people know how important getting and it depends on the
Yeah.
pediatrician, but our pediatrician was an advocate on getting a sleep study
Oh,
done, even
yes.
not having any issues of like, because I think he got his first one when he was probably 2. Like he was little.
Oh, yeah.
But she's like, "Does he have sleep apnea?" I'm like, "I don't know." She's like, "Well, let's go get it tested." And so she was super adamant on getting it done. But if you haven't done a sleep study yet and you have a child with Down syndrome, the
Do it.
probability of them having it is high. And I know it's scary to face that and be like, oh shit, now I got to do this.
Yeah.
But if it can help them, and what they say, stroke, heart attack,
All the
like
thing.
all the things like down the road, eventually they're going to need it because it's the anatomy of their tongue. Like their tongue is so big and
And
it,
for Addie, our options after we did tonsils,
we did
we
that too.
did
Yep.
adenoids and we did tonsils. We had gone back and she was having just issues, and it was literally our 2 options were CPAP or a glossectomy, which is a partial removal of her tongue.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
"Mm,
Yeah. I've heard of that too.
I think we're gonna keep her tongue. Hard pass.
Yes.
So we're going with the
Or there's
CPAP."
something they can do to break your bones in your
Mhm.
teeth or
Yeah,
something too.
so
I know. Well, I asked about the Inspire, that thing that they
yeah,
put in,
you
and
have to be
she's like,
12.
"Okay, okay." And she's like, "Well, do you want him to have another surgery?" And I'm like, "Not really." And then
Yeah.
she kind of said some things of like, "Well, what if he grows?" And then that I'm like, "Yeah, I don't want to do this."
I've gone back and forth on the Inspire device, and luckily, like, Addie's not old enough, right?
Mhm.
So there's a couple more years because I'm just like, I don't know how I feel about an implantable device, but we have a couple years to like look at the research and get the data
Mhm.
back on if it's actually helping or
Yeah.
not
I mean, she
before.
made some valid points of and she's like, "What if it's hurting him and he can't tell you?" And then
Right.
what if I
Yeah.
mean, there was a couple things and I'm like,
There's
"Yeah,
lots of
nope,
things.
nope."
Yeah.
But she didn't say at 12
I'm pretty sure it's
because I
12.
said, "Could he be a candidate for the Inspire?" And I think she said, "Yeah,"
Oh,
but
really? Unless they've made the decision to
like at
drop it.
8 or I thought it was 8 or 9.
No, absolutely not.
Oh,
No way.
I
I'll
don't know.
look. I don't know.
Well,
No,
Google
I'm
it.
gonna go look.
Google it.
Google.
Anyway, I would check for sleep apnea
Yeah.
because it's prominent that kiddos with Down syndrome get it.
Mm.
Here we are. So that's a little chaos corner to add. Oh, and then I got my hormones checked and
That's
pretty much my cortisol levels and my adrenals are out
fight or
of whack
flight.
because of chaos corner,
Fight or flight all the time.
because of the chaos in my life.
No,
Makes
it's
sense.
great. It's
Makes
great.
sense.
We're good. We're,
Oh, it's just always something. It's
yeah.
all good.
All
All
right.
good. Okay. Thanks, guys.
See you next time.